Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's episode of Talking Point. I'm your host, Syed Neaz Ahmad. In our studios today, we have a gentleman who has the interest and the care of the community. He is none other than very distinguished Mr. Rezaur Rahman Jilani, popularly known as Rahman Jilani. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Thank you very much indeed for inviting me.
Thank you for giving us the time. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Same goes to you, sir.
Thank you. You have been associated with a lot of organizations. The list is so long that it will take quite some time, more than an hour.
But do you know one thing, Niaz bhai? It is a jack of all trades, master of none.
I like the jack bit more. Your very colorful life and very colorful journey from Mr. Rezaur Rahman, and you said that your Jilani is not your surname, but it's a nickname, which you have adopted now as a surname, looks like. Anyway, so where did this journey begin? I mean, when did you find out that the concern of the ordinary person, man on the street, whether able, disabled, not distinguishing, was something that was close to your heart? When did you realize that?
Well, as I said, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But I had I basically, when I came to England, I was a student.
Right.
And then I started knowing about England and trying to find out the difference between their society and our society and all these things. So it's not that always I have been working 9 to 5.
No.
You know, that was never my nature was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was from the very beginning, I used to live in Tower Hamlets since 1976.
Right.
And I always wanted to be within my own people, you know, because this is the place where, you know, you find your own people here.
Right.
So that's the whole thing started from here, actually. And
you wanted to do something for the people.
Obviously, that was the thing, actually. That was in the agenda, yes.
Yeah.
But at that time, as you might know, that when you come here as a student, you got a lot of immigration restrictions, this and that. At the same time, it was not a bed of roses anyway.
Well, you have different priorities. Your priorities are different, isn't it?
Yes, my priority was different. So I was always looking for avenues and opportunities in case ever I have a chance to do that.
Right.
Then definitely I will try to. So that's the way whole thing actually started. As I said, you know, funnily, that I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. So I tested a lot of waters.
Right.
Okay, but then I tried to find out where is the real peace of mind. You and me in our life, as I see it always, that you have to be happy what you do.
Right.
So despite my career or students, my education and things, I always taken social work into my blood because that was the nature I had. I wanted to help people. So
what was your first venture into doing something for the community in Tower Hamlets?
It was not a very good experience, I will have to start with. In 1977, I think it was, because you know, I used to live in Stepney here, not very far from where we are right now. I went to a meeting organized by Bangladeshi people, which was at that time, I think it was 77, I think. At that time, I was a student of London University in SOAS. So, but whenever I had a chance, I was going to Brick Lane, you know, areas to see my own people having a...
For lunch and dinner?
Lunch, I didn't have the time to do that. But yes, for a cup of tea, why not? Because I used to live in Stepney. So I used to board on a bus from Aldgate. Just before that, I used to go to Brick Lane and have a cup of tea there. But that was not always a tea from a tea shop.
Right.
So I had some friends. I made some
Right.
friends there. They used to go. I used
They
to go
used to live there.
They used to live there, and so I was actually passing time with my own people.
Yeah.
And love for my people, probably it's.
You're talking about the mid-70s, isn't it?
I'm talking about mid-70s.
How about the life there? I mean, what was Brick Lane like this? I mean, it's not like this. I mean, this is a commercial hub now. See, you don't see people living there, but there are some hotels, yes, but people don't live there anymore. It's too costly to live there.
Yes, but that was probably one of the worst place the then council people used to give to our people. I would not say it was a substandard housing, and all these racks and rows and all these things, they were putting the people there inside with 3, 4, 5 kids into 1-bedroom flats and things like that. But things started changing later on, because at that time probably we were, or our generation before us probably was thinking that we will earn some money and go home. So
that was the intention.
That was the intention. But later on it all changes with the socio-economic circumstances, this and that, and socio-political.
Also the conditions back home changed.
That's what I said, socio-political,
Yes.
So although we have been a victim of racism here in England, but over there things were not actually running the way it is supposed to run, or smooth. So after liberation in Bangladesh,
or should have run.
That's right. So maybe our people has a way between these two, and thought that no, this is the time that I bring my wife and my kids. But then when you're bringing the kids here into our hamlets, that was the first stop for us.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Where are the schools? I don't know what to say to the school, this and that. So it was not just one scenario. It was multifarious type of problems that our community and the then generation were facing. So Brick Lane was one of the worst place, although it is not very far from the city, one of the finest, richest capital, commercial capital of the world.
Within 5 minutes, the scene changes if you walk from the city to West Aldgate.
Exactly.
Even today.
Yes, even today. Enormous.
Well, coming back to your social work.
Right.
This was the social scene.
That was the scenario. We had to live here, so we lived here.
Right.
But fortunately, thanks to Allah, this place, which was dilapidated at one time, nobody was supposed to take this kind of worst housing in the whole Western world, probably, now is giving dividend to us, because city, if the city can grow, London, it can grow only in the eastern side. So we are taking the benefit of that, which is good. Now, you said you wanted to hear about the social work. My social work actually started from an organization called University Settlement in East London, which is popularly known as Toynbee Hall. Because the name of the organization...
This organization is Toynbee Hall.
Toynbee Hall was the name of the building.
Toynbee Hall is the building.
Name of the building. So people started knowing about Toynbee Hall and this and that, and a lot of things. It's a historical place. They had the contribution, I mean, the then administration had the contribution in the liberation, in the making of our nation, in fact. Lord Peter Shore, Donald Chesworth, John Clapham, there was another few other people there. So they made the contribution as well. So historically, in the field of social work as well, philanthropic side, that was a marvelous place, but that was close to our people, because building was too gorgeous for us, and we could not speak their kind of English. So
who was it meant for?
Supposed to be meant for poor people, but on what basis? Is it just patronizing?
Poor people dressed in three-piece suits?
Us, because that was for the immigrant. Originally that settlement has been set up in 1884 to help people who came as an immigrant in the East End of London. We are the latest. We are the latest.
I mean, traditionally, Tower Hamlet has been the launching pad for all the immigrants.
Yes. So after my education and things, I went back to another country in the Middle East, and then I came back here. And working for the society or working for our own people, because there was need for that in the field of education, in the field of socio-economic pattern, and various things. The Bangladeshi community came here, and they have not been taken seriously by many British governments as well. Because if you go historically, you can see how they wanted to make us. But probably thanks to Almighty Allah that we are now making our own destiny, which is good.
Yes, this is only through hard work and
it was really
focus on our own
That's right.
affairs, see,
That's right.
rather than mudslinging and leg pulling. We are more united today than we were, I think.
Yes. I must name one or two people for the thing that I have seen. Say Bangladesh Welfare Association. There was a barrister called Barrister Ali Rasool. I don't see him, probably he died. So he was the founder of that. There was Bangladesh Center in the western side.
Pembridge Gardens.
In the Pembridge Garden, which used to be the High Commission at one time. So there were certain places, But in eastern of London, it was actually the organization which were all behind, And some people, particularly Tasadduk Bhai, he died long time ago, Tasadduk Ahmad Chaudhary. And I have also forgotten many names, but some of them, they were the old guards.
These names must be chronicled because, it will be an ungrateful community that will forget its own heroes.
What to say? I'm a part of it.
I said there must be some way of keeping a record of it, publishing so that this information can be shared.
It is, I think, Tower Hamlets Council has got a education department.
Right.
When I was working at Toynbee Hall, I started something called Oral History Project.
Right.
In order to keep these histories, who actually has made us a community.
Yep.
But I do not know, since I have left in 1999.
Well, as far as oral history is concerned, it's okay, but we want it to be written so that it can be passed on to people.
That's right. It can be passed on to younger generations so that they know. But with benefit of doubt.
We have a plethora.
But with benefit of doubt, if the administration is doing it, if not, what is the intention? Don't the people want us to know us, how we came here, how we started, how we are doing now? So these...
Well, we are our own best friends and we are our own best enemies. See, it's our job to, as we have protected and kept intact and carrying on the practice of our own culture and traditions, it's our own duty. We can't blame others.
You said two things, Neaz Bhai. You said we are our own friends, we are our own enemies. Yeah. Let me talk about the friends first. If we see that, yes, we are our friends, then the responsibility comes to our shoulder to preserve our heritage, history, and everything. And, frankly enough, in Tower Hamlets we can do that. Yes. We have got enough councillors to make a resolution in Tower Hamlets to say that, look, we want to preserve that.
Right.
Piecemeal basis, here is something, there is something, there is something, does not give you any fruit. Now, that's the thing. We are our friends. I hope people who are listening to this program, probably maybe one councillor or even the mayor himself, John Biggs, is supposed to be a good friend of Bangladeshi community, will do that.
Well, let's hope he is.
Yes, I hope he is. And then now enemies. You see, problems are always there.
I'm not talking about enemies outside, it's enemies within.
Within. Sometimes people get, they started loving too much of their own destiny and greed.
Their own image.
Their own images and things. You have seen what happened in the last administration in Tower Hamlets. That's all we have seen. The whole nation has seen it. These are some of the unfortunate things, but I think you have rightly said, we are our own friends and we are our own enemies. So the people who actually is in a dichotomy of assuring this, they should decide which part of the bridge there should be. This could be a lesson from what you were aspiring or trying to speak about.
Well, on this very, very positive point, we would like to take a short break.
Sure.
And when we come back, we will pick up the thread and talk about more social successes and problems. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Don't go away. We'll be back soon.